Hey everyone, this is Mabel from Girls on the Money. So last week, you guys sent me some questions. I actually posted something in my stories asking you guys to send me questions, and some of you did, and I hadn't had a chance to answer them. But here I am to do so, and I am excited to get started. So let's get this show on the road. The first question is, I like to invest, but I don't have much to invest as I'm barely taking care of myself. Okay, in those situations, what I will tell you to do is you have to cover your basics. Many people think that investing is something that you can just jump into, that you're going to make money quickly, that it's just something that's there to generate money right away, and that is not the case. Before anybody starts to invest, I highly recommend, like I said, that they cover their basics. Are you working towards paying off credit card debt if you have any credit card debt? Are you looking for ways to make more money so that you can, save more money? Do you have an emergency fund set up? I will tell you to first do that. Make sure you have that set up. It's extremely important to have an emergency fund, money set aside because anything can happen. There are things that need to take place before somebody can invest. And then once you get to a level where you feel more comfortable with money, maybe you find a way to make a little bit more income, you got an extra job, or you're making more money at your job, you're starting to save money, you're starting to pay off your debt, you feel more comfortable financially speaking and more flexible to make different choices, then I would tell you to graduate into learning to invest and investing. But I would highly recommend, like I said from the beginning, cover your basics first. Extremely important. The next question is, are index funds really the way to go for beginners? Index funds, the good thing about index funds is that you're automatically diversified when you invest in an index fund. So just really quick, for example, if somebody were to buy an S&P 500 index fund, you're buying a fund that pretty much covers the entire market. So the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's 500, is an index that is composed of 500 of the biggest companies in the US. So it's like a little basket, I think I've explained this before, that holds pieces of 500 different businesses. So imagine buying an index fund, you're automatically diversified. So one thing with index funds, you can find low fee index funds. And again, like I said, you are diversified right away. So usually people that want to be a little bit more conservative, but still want to be invested in the stock market, will buy an index fund. In terms of your question, if it's really the way to go for beginners, I have mixed feelings. Yes, I believe you should start off maybe with an index fund if you wanted to, but I'm a strong believer also in individual stocks. And I'm not talking about junk. I'm not talking about penny stocks. I'm not talking about things that cost 75 cents. I'm talking about companies that have a strong foundation and have healthy financials, have a proven record that they can be profitable and successful over time, have very little competition, are thriving, and can seem to be thriving for many, many years to come. I strongly believe in high quality individual stocks. So even if you're a beginner, if you find companies that are of high quality and you want to start a portfolio with that, that's perfectly fine as well. My personal story is that I started my investing journey buying individual stocks. But again, I wasn't buying junk, and I do like to refer to those things as junk. And I'm sorry if some of you invest in things that cost $1.75, but I found that those things are very risky, and usually people lose their money, or they see it as a gamble, as like it's the Vegas or Atlantic City or you're just gonna go gamble your money. And I don't look at investing that way. I look at it as very, very seriously. And again, I like to invest in quality. So if you are a beginner investor, there's nothing wrong with finding companies that you believe in, that you maybe are a customer of, that you believe are strong businesses, and maybe starting off your portfolio that way. And one of the reasons why I teach my investing course is to help my students and future investors identify those good companies and build a diversified portfolio out of that. So I wouldn't tell you as a beginner just buy an index fund and call it a day, because for me, I love individual stock investing, but I do it very carefully, very cautiously, investing in quality and investing for the long term. But again, if an index fund is something that appeals to you, maybe being automatically diversified and just letting your money grow for you over time, that's fine too. But again, do your research, do your homework. As you notice in my social media platforms, I never recommend anything, because I think it's extremely important that people do their own research, their own homework, and figure out for themselves what they feel comfortable with as an investment. Maybe a few individual stocks that they really believe in, that they believe are really high quality, or maybe a couple of index funds. But it will depend on your risk tolerance and your goals as an investor, and what kind of investor you are. So that is the second question. Let's go to the next one. Okay, next question is how to finally get over the fear and buy my first stock. So Gabby, which is the person that sent me these questions, I know that this is something that she's being cautious about. She struggled with kind of getting over that fear of buying their first stock, and it's completely understandable. I myself, when I first started to invest years ago, summer of 2008, I was scared. I had a finance degree and I have been saving money to invest, but I was still confused, and I'm like, if I put my money in this brokerage account, where's it gonna go? Somebody gonna steal my money? I was still very cautious. So the way I got over that, that hurdle or that thing that was preventing me from investing is that I bought 4 shares of my favorite company. I did my research, I looked into it, and I was like, this is a strong business. I believe in this business, and whatever happens, at least I got the experience of buying the stock, going through the transaction process, and then tracking my stock, every other day, seeing how it's doing. 4 shares. You don't need to buy 10,000 shares, 100 shares of anything to get over the fear of investing. And I think usually what keeps people from getting to the next level and getting over that, that thing that just keeps them from doing it is lack of taking action. So to get over that, you just have to do it. Buy 1 share. Like, it's not about you're going to become rich from buying 1 share or 4 shares, or if it's going to make you all this money. It's about getting over the fear. That's your first priority, and do it with something that you believe in, that you feel strongly about, and just track it. See how you feel about it. You're gonna put a little bit of money there. See how you feel. You got over the fear of buying it. You're tracking it. You're seeing how it goes. And whatever happens, here's what I will tell you: either you're gonna make money from that investment. Maybe you pick something that turns out to be really good, and then you get motivated to continue investing. Or if the investment does poorly, you learn your lesson. You can examine, why did it go bad? Like, I put some money in a share or 2 of this company that I really liked, but it didn't turn out so well. Why not? And then you learn from that, and then you become a better investor. So the next thing that you buy, hopefully, is a successful investment, and that's how you go. And that's my personal experience. I bought 4 shares of a company that I liked. I observed it. I liked what it was doing. I got excited about it, and then I continued that track of buying quality. I can't emphasize that enough. Building my portfolio with high quality businesses, and that, the rest is history. And that's why I'm so passionate about investing, because I like to show people that it can be done, and there's nothing to be scared about. So I hope that helps. Gabby, if you have anything, you have any other questions about that, let me know. The next question is, I honestly don't know where to start. Sometimes I feel like digging my finance text. This is such a relatable question, because I know exactly what you mean about you trying to get your finance books and see if you can figure out. Let me tell you something. I have a Bachelor of Science in Business Management and Finance. I have an MBA in Finance. And I have to tell you that everything I know about investing, stock investing, hands-on investing, I did not learn from school. Obviously, school will give you the foundations, the concepts, the official concepts of things, and the way that finance is taught at schools is to prepare you to be a CFO of a business. It has nothing to do with building a stock portfolio or an index fund portfolio, or building your own portfolio for yourself to build wealth over time. So this is something that I had to take step by step and learn on my own through hands-on action, through reading books, listening to podcasts, doing it myself, taking action. And it's been over 10 years of doing it on my own. But I have to tell you, opening my finance textbook at any time would not have taught me anything about hands-on investing. And it's funny, the main reason why I got my MBA, or why I started my MBA and ultimately finished it year, a few years later, is that I wanted to be a better investor. And then halfway through my MBA, I realized I'm not learning anything about being a better investor. What am I doing here? And I was tempted to just leave it alone, but I said to myself, you know what, I'm halfway through the degree. Let me just get this over with. And ironically, I think getting my MBA just inspired me to become an entrepreneur and have my own business. So I guess, fate worked this way, through that, and that's what's supposed to happen. But anyway, I digress. So what I meant to say with that is that grabbing your finance textbook will probably not teach you anything. Where to start? I will tell you, like I said in the other answer, is what companies are you passionate about? Do you believe in? Do you believe are good businesses that can be around for 10, 20, 30 years from now? Do you want to be an individual stock investor, or do you want to invest in index funds? What kind of investor are you? Ask yourself those questions, and then it's very simple. Open an online brokerage account, and then do your research. I highly emphasize the research part, which is why I teach the course. Do your research, do your homework, and then buy 1 or 2 shares of something that you like, or buy an index fund, and that's it. That's really it. And then from that, you build on that over time. You build on, how to find good businesses, how to find good investments. It's a trial and error sometimes, but it's not that difficult as long as you do your homework, see what kind of investor you are. Do you want to leave it up to someone else? That's another option. There's robo-advisors. There's really different options for you to start investing. But that's what I would say. And also, like I said in the very first question, do you have your foundation set? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have money set aside for, things that can happen? Are you ready to jump into investing? Stuff like that. So I hope that helps. And anybody that asks me questions, if you want me to elaborate a little bit more, email me, girlsonthemoney@gmail.com. I don't want to, do a 10-hour video, so I'm trying to keep the answers a little bit, brief and straight to the point. But if anything specific you want to know, email me. Next question is, how can I start investing in the stock market if I don't live in America? This is a really good question, and I get this a lot, and I actually get international students that ask me this question as well. I'm not 100% familiar with the abroad stock market. I know there's the London Stock Exchange, there's a stock exchange in Australia, there's exchanges everywhere, but I don't really know how easy it is for the average person to just buy shares of stock in those exchanges abroad. So that's something that I'm excited to look into. I'm actually going to be looking into that because, I find investing super interesting and fascinating. So obviously I want to know how it works in other parts of the world. So if you're watching this and you're in another part of the world and would like to talk to me about how your stock market works, I would love to talk to you. But that is a challenge. So I want to know, where do you live? If you don't live in America, where do you live? Do you have a stock exchange over there? And I will have to research how does that work, and I will have to do that work for you. So again, if you want to give me a little bit more information, email me at girlsonthemoney@gmail.com. So what I was going to say is, another way you can invest if you are abroad is to open an investing account in the US, but you're going to have some type of ID and stuff like that. And I think you should be able to open an account. I don't think you need a social security number. I'm not 100% sure, but you do need to identify yourself, and you might need to have dollars to, invest in the U.S. exchanges. That's just my, what I think. I might not be 100% correct, so don't quote me on that. But that's another way that maybe you could do it. But again, if you want to email me more information in terms of where you live, maybe I can look into that for you and help you figure it out. Let's see. I keep having to put in my password. Okay, how much should I start out with? I know they say I know they say to start with what you have. Yeah, you don't need a lot of money to invest. Sometimes I get emails from people telling me that they went to a bank and they told them you need $100,000 to start investing, get out of here, kind of thing. And you don't need that much. Obviously you don't need $100,000 to invest. Again, I started my investing journey buying 4 shares of a stock that I like. Obviously that didn't cost a lot of money. I will say, if people always want a ballpark number. If you have $500 to $1,000 to start a mini portfolio, then you should be fine. And then you have to figure out where you want to allocate that money. Do you want to buy index funds? Do you want to buy ETFs? Do you want to buy individual stocks? You have to know what exactly you want to buy, and again, there's options if you want other people to do that for you, like robo advisors. You can allocate that money towards that and they do the investing for you. The point is, you don't need a lot of money to start. A lot of these companies have no account minimums, which means you can open an investing account and put $200 there and buy, 1 share of a stock that you like. There's not a minimum, and there's no exact amount of money that you need or are required to have to start investing. So I would say, as long as you have your ducks on the row, you have your savings, you have your savings set aside, you feel like you're ready to invest. I would say that you start with whatever you have and then take it from there, and then you build on that. I feel like I keep repeating that here, but you build on things. You don't just start off with $10,000 invested and make all this money. It doesn't work that way. You got to start slow and steady. Buy slow, slow and don't go crazy about it. Then just see how it goes, and then you continue your investing journey. You learn, you make money, you learn. It's like an exciting world, and which is why I built an entire business around teaching investing, because it's so fascinating to me. And not only that, I know that anybody can do it. Just education is so key, so key. And I pray and I hope that I'm doing my best to educate people out there and to encourage them that the stock market is for them too. It's not designated to a specific group of people. It's for everyone. So let's see. I think that's the end of the questions. It is the end of the questions. Thank you everyone for sending those, and I'll be doing these things again. I'll post in my stories, ask me your questions, and hopefully I can do the videos. So thank you so much for watching, and if again anything you want to tell me, DM me, email me at girlswithnomoney@gmail.com. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.